YouTube. What's up, boys? It's your boy Grant back with another video. We got some more mods coming in. I'm pretty excited about this today. As you guys know, here recently, we just installed the RVG parts downpipe, which is awesome. We've also installed the Car Labs charge pipe, so we've got that now wrapped up. We already had of course, like the oil catch can and that sort of thing. We can show you what came in the mail today, and then we'll get started. I know you guys have probably heard me say on the channel quite a few times, I was gonna do MHD, I thought about doing Jb4, and now what I thought, the decision I made is to actually do Jb4 with the MHD back-end flash. So I actually got a great deal on a used Jb4. So that's what we have here. This Jb4 actually has the Bluetooth module, which is going to be super cool. It's got some silicone on here just to kind of keep everything in place. But we've actually got a Jb4 that we're going to start working on installing real quick. So let's jump into that now. I don't know, I may not try to bore you guys with too much of it because I do know that there's a lot of videos online on how to install a Jb4. I'm still learning this as well too, so I'll just try to run through the steps as quickly as I can, but it won't be extremely detailed. So first thing we're going to do is disconnect the negative terminal because we're going to be dealing with electronics. So we're going to jump into that right now. Okay, so we've got the negative terminal disconnected. Just going to run through this real quick for those that don't know. My boy that took this out of his 535, he just ran through it real quick with me. So I just want to make sure we understand. We've got the box, then we go into negative and positive terminals here for our power. This connection here right off of our wires is for our boost solenoid. The next connection on the wires are going to be for the oil, the fuel pressure. So that connects there at the back of the intake. This is actually for the map sensor at the back of the intake, and that's why those are so close together. These here you get to is for the T-map sensor that is actually on the charge pipe. And then this connection actually connects to the OBD2 port that connects inside the car. So it should be really easy for us to just kind of run those cables. I'm gonna start digging in here on the car. What I've done first is I went ahead and removed our cowls on both sides. We went ahead and removed your intake box as well as the piping to your, down toward the charge. That's actually going down to your turbo, I believe, the turbo inlet or whatever. So I'm not exactly sure what that, that tube's called, but either way, we remove the entire intake. And so what we're going to do is that gives us access to where we want to hide our wires and all that sort of thing. First of all, if you look at the Jb4 instructions, it actually tells you to start over here, start plugging things in and moving everything around. I talked to my boy that actually that sold me the Jb4. He actually said that's not the best method to do it. So what we've done here, we started over here on this end. We've put the Jb4 where we're going to have it stored, which is actually going to be in that passenger side cowl. We went ahead and ran our cables through underneath our weather sealing. That way we can actually start routing our piping. And again, this is just him from doing it in experience. He said he did the instructions like Jb4 said, and when he did, he got all the way over there, and all of a sudden, he had no way of getting his Jb4 under the weather sealing, so weather stripping. So that's the reason why we did that route. So we've got that here now. Our wires are now coming across where we need them to. So what I'm going to do is, and it's going to be kind of tucking it in here near our huge wire loom that we already have. Now it's just a matter of plugging a lot of these wires in. So I grabbed my flathead here. We went ahead and disconnected the T-map sensor on the charge pipe. And after that's done, now you have what they call the rainbow color ones here are set up here. That you see the bright colors. Those are the ones that are going to connect here. So we're just going to slip that in. That connects really easily. And then this piece that actually comes from the Jb4 now connects into the charge pipe. So there we go. One connection is now done. This connection here is actually going to go into the firewall. So we're going to leave this one up here because that's actually what's going to go to our firewall over there. Now we have the next connection, which is for our map sensor, which is right here. So again, we said the colorful one connection because they look the same with here. This is where the map sensor goes. So we're going to use our little flathead to pry this up a little bit. Let's see if we can't wiggle this out real quick. Don't want to damage anything. Okay, so that pulls out. We're going to take this plug. This is, of course, from our Jb4. It's going to plug right in there in that spot. So that's connected, and then this one is going to connect to the original connection we had there to that map sensor. So that one is now connected. So we've already got 2 down. Back here, the next one is actually going to be for our fuel pressure sensor. So that is this connection here, which is actually connected to the back here to this fuel rail. And this is actually for our intake. So we're going to want to make sure we don't want to lose that one. We're going to set that right here. That doesn't actually connect to this. So the back side here, I think I've already disconnected it. Yeah, already disconnected it, but it connects right here to the back of the fuel rail. So it's right here. We go underneath our wire loom. Gonna connect that real quick. So that's connected, and we're gonna now connect the Jb4 to the fire rail. I mean to the fuel rail. It's kind of hard to do from this side. Okay, and I always want to check those connections, make sure they're snug. So those are all good and tight. So we've got that connected. So all of those connections are now done. The last remaining connection here for the Jb4 is actually for our boost solenoid, and that's this connection here. That is actually down here, right here below this charge pipe. Well, not charge pipe, but this connection. So this is a squeeze connection. If you can see here, you actually have to squeeze to release it. I can actually see the cable, that connection here. So I'm just going to see if I can grab my flathead and get in on the side of this and get it to push in so that I can pop it up. Push in and pop up. So there's that connection here. So we're going to connect in to our to the Jb4. So it clicked in there, no problem. And now we're going to see if we can snake this down here and plug it in. And you could always just remove this if you wanted to, but I just clicked it in, and so we're good to go. So we've already actually got all of these connections here in the engine bay are already done. So now it's just a matter of, again, where we want this to sit as far as Jb4 is concerned, and then how we want, how we're going to have, oh, well, of course, we're still going to have to connect our power and our ground. So this one here, we're having snake through, and it's going to actually go into, probably go into this cowl, into this side here. Yeah, okay. I'm going to leave that right there. But this is all done now, with the exception of the power and the ground. I'll try to figure out, ground is most likely just going to go right here on one of our strut tower bolts. So we'll just use this one here, and then the power we're going to connect here. Yeah, we're just going to connect it here on this little nut down here. Yeah, so we'll do that real quick, get those 2 connections done, and then we'll put everything back. Okay, so we've got the airbags back on, everything is back installed, everything except for our cowls up top. We're just going to make sure that we have our connections, everything that we need to run through the firewall. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then we'll be right back with you guys. We'll see where we're at. Okay, boys, so our next step here is, I'm not sure if you can see this back there, there's a little bitty, I actually removed this little cover, and there's a little section, so I can get it to show up on the camera. It's right here. That's what we're looking for. This thing here, we're going to run the cable through that hole. Now, my Jb4 is not long enough from that end because whoever it did install originally didn't leave enough length there. So I actually have more length that's actually going to come up from the footwell, and that's why if you see this section here is longer. So I'm actually going to have to run something down in there and then pull the cable out. So we're going to try that in just a second. So the other side of that we need to do though is now we have to come in here into the car. Let me see if I can grab some lights. Okay, and I do apologize for it being so dirty in here, but we're gonna have to start removing some of these bolts. So there's a little bolt here that needs to be removed, as well as these connections underneath here. And I can't see them from this angle here. It looks like there's 2 bolts or so, 2 there, and then another couple ones. So I'll get you some numbers on those here in just a minute, but once those are removed, we should have access to that. Okay, boys, so what we have here, this is actually the airbag. So you want to be gentle about taking this out. There's two T25 connections. So one there in that silver area, another one in this silver area. T25 bolts. And then once you get that out, those out, that you can slowly get it out. There's a connection on the side to remove, and that airbag connection on the side, let's see where if I can find out what happens. Okay, here it is right here. So basically what you're going to do is you pop that little section out to the, I guess, to the left, and then you can pull this out for the airbag to release. Once that's those connections are out, this is actually just held in by tabs. So you see a tab here as well as a tab here, and then there is another bolt that shows up here on the side here for the for this piece here. So that bolts in. Once that's bolted out, once you take that little bolt out, you can move this forward and then pull that out of the way. So that's all done. Now typically what you would do is you would just push that wire through the grommet on the other side that we discussed. I'm doing mine a little differently just because of the way this is a used harness, and you can, I'm not sure if you can tell, I don't think you can see it up there, but what I've done is I've just taken a little screwdriver that I had and pushed it through, and I can actually see the tip of it. So I'm just going to actually tape my wire to that and then pull it back through. Okay, so we had to have a little change of plan. The flathead screwdriver wasn't going to work, so I actually found some old power wire from my old stereo days. I'm actually going to tape my connection here to that power wire and then pull it back through that way. So that's what we're going to give a shot now. Okay, that old trick did it, and we've got our connection here. So I'm going to go start working on buttoning everything else back down inside, and we should be good to go. Boys, we got it all back in, airbag, everything's all plugged in correctly. We've already got our OBD, our connection in for the Jb4. So now we come around here, we have plenty of cable here coming through. So I'm gonna just disconnect our red wire here. Our harness connection is right here. So we're just gonna snake it through, plug it in, and we'll be set. All right. Okay, boys, we've got everything installed. We're all set up here. Everything is clean on the inside. It's getting close to 11 o'clock tonight, so we won't be able to try it out tonight. We're gonna have to try it out in the morning. So I will see you guys in the AM. Okay, boys, so we're gonna hope for the best on this video recording. Again, I don't have a cameraman. I've tried to set up the recorder the best I can here, but we're gonna try to get you guys an idea of what it's like driving around with the Jb4. So the Jb4, I believe, is a really great addition to this car. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do with the Jb4. There's different maps. You have the ability to run ethanol, all sorts of things like that. Sorry, we're on a rough road here, so it's going to be really bumpy. But one cool thing here, of course, is we can always click our settings and see what map we're on. As you guys can see, I'm running on map 5. When we go back to display, you can choose what you want your display to show. Right now, for me, I like having the oil temperature, the water temperature or coolant temperature, airflow ratio, the IATs, as well as my boost pressure, and I'm keep an eye on my low pressure fuel pump pressure. I guess I think it shows actually it's high, but those are the things that I like to look at right now, just to kind of keep an idea of kind of what my car is doing. But there is a lot of cool features that are built into the Jb4 for as far as safety is concerned. So map 0 is basically stock. Map 5 is a learning map. So that's one of the best maps to run, especially when you're running ethanol and you're looking at some of the higher boost type options. So one cool thing though is, if, like I said, some of the safety parameters built into this Jb4 is, if the air fuel ratio gets a little lean, or if there's other issues that are triggered by the sensors, it will actually dump your car back into stock or map 0, just to make sure that you don't have any issues and you don't have, a catastrophic failure. So again, normal boost pressure, I think for me, stock was anywhere I could kind of cap out around maybe 9 or 10 psi. Running the Jb4 on map 5, especially with ethanol, I can get all the way up to 18 pounds of boost. So it will, like I said, does it make your car a rocket? No. Does it make it pull a lot harder? It certainly does. To me, especially if I have the car in Sport or Sport Plus, the Sport Plus is typically what you want to do if you're logging in or anything like that. So the biggest problem that I'm going to have at the moment has to do with my my IATs, or my intake air temperatures. So right now I'm hovering around 90. Whenever I start doing multiple logs, multiple pulls, my temperatures jump up really quickly. I get in the 120s, 130s, and then it starts pulling back timing. So that's where the front mount intercooler is going to come into play. But honestly, I've been trying to slow down a little bit as far as my performance mods. I'm not sure how much you guys are, how much I've shared in some of the other videos. I recently got myself a big speeding ticket, so it kind of pushed me back a little bit there. But we'll do a couple of pulls just to kind of give you guys a quick idea. So like again, this is just stock right now. If I kind of hammer it 100%, see how it pulls. And like I said, the best is actually if it's actually in Sport Plus, or just kind of like your car in general. So if we put this thing, drop it down into Sport or Sport Plus, that's where I feel like I get the best performance, and that's just probably because the traction control is turned off. So again, if we're just gonna on a slow roll, or we can even slow down and kind of hammer down here in a second, we'll drop down to put it in sport mode, get down to our third gear here. All right, we're just gonna hammer down and it pull. See, and it'll get up and move. So I definitely, for me, the Jb4 is definitely worth it. You know, so if you guys are in the market for doing some performance upgrades, definitely something that I would highly recommend. My next thing again is going to be going to the front mount intercooler, and then possibly also doing the turbo smart blow off valve, and looking at doing the XHP tune for the transmission tune. So that's going to be a really cool thing to give you a lot faster shifts. But yeah, this is a lot of fun, especially in sport mode. But it'll pull strong. So man, I don't really like these rough roads back here, but I also don't want to be on the main roads and get myself another speeding ticket. So wanted to give you guys a quick video so you guys kind of know how the install went, as well as how I'm liking the Jb4. If you guys have any questions at all, do feel free to drop those down in the comments. I will be answering those questions like always. And again, I do plan on pairing this Jb4 with the MHD back-end flash, which just gives you the great benefits of MHD. A lot more, I think it's a throttle response, just a smoother application. But then you also have the boost control of the Jb4, which allows you to even boost a little bit higher than what MHD allows, as long as your car is running healthy and you don't have any safety issues or anything like that that starts pulling timing or you know, jumping you back to your stock map. So we're going to give that a shot. Like I said, again, like and subscribe. You guys be safe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.